Today we'll be talking about a very interesting topic, that is angle of exit of hair from the scalp. So this picture is around the frontal area, including the hairline zone. So if you see this hair, which is close to 20 degree to the scalp, this is the natural angle. Now let us see the transplanted hair which was done to this patient earlier. If you see this one, this is around 80 degree to the skin. So that means this is obtuse, and the natural angle that we have seen on that side is acute. So there is a discrepancy between this 80 degree and this close to 20 degree. So this is to be avoided, and we will show how to do that. So this is the picture which is just behind the hairline zone. If you see these transplanted hair, they are not only almost perpendicular to the skin, but some of the hair are moving backward, like they are going back. So if you see, that angle would be around 110 and 120 degree, and I'll show in the next picture. You will see that sometimes really they have gone up to 130 degree also, like moved back. So how to avoid all those things? And it is very essential that the transplanting team should know about the signs of these angles, how the hair moves after transplantation. Of course, it is important to know whether the hair would move like from side to side or front to back. Understanding that signs is very important to give the right angle which would match the natural angle of exit for the scalp hair. And the angle of exit varies from point to point of the scalp, like it is different on the hairline, different on the mid scalp, different on the crown, it is different on the temples as well. So knowing the angles and ensuring that a right angle the hair comes, and also knowing that after transplantation what would be the potential movement of the hair, including the scarring pattern that happens below the skin. Scar also moves the hair to left, right, front and back. So all those things should be in the mind of the doctor and the team, so that the final outcome or the final angle of exit to the scalp should be natural. So we'll come to those points. So in this slide you can see that the hair is really moving backward, that is, it is going posteriorly. So at the time of plantation, the team should know that the hair could travel backward if they are planted obtusely or less acutely. That is one thing for the graft to move backward. Second is, if the person is combing the hair backward, like giving the strokes backwardly, then also the hair could pick up that backward angle. So all those things should be there in the mind of the doctor when he does. So if he knows all those things, then they would ensure that the final outcome after 1 year, 1.5 years, including the scarring pattern that happens below the skin. So the final angle of exit should be around 15 to 25 degree on the hairline zone. That is very crucial. Of course, all those like hair from front to the back, the angle of exit should be there in the mind of the team while they are making the slits, while they are transplanting, and looking at the little bit of mobility of the skin, so that at the end the hair should not be standing up, or they are moving backward also. As you know, we do get a lot of cases to correct their hairline zone, correct their angle of exit. So what I picked up is, in this picture, if you see, this is the angle of exit that I am intending to make for this patient. So this should be around close to 20 degree on the hairline area, just behind the hairline area rather, and his transplanted hair from a previous surgery is almost standing close to 90 degree. So it is very difficult for me to go in between them without hurting them. I try not to hurt as much as possible to the existing hair or the planted hair. So but you can see the discrepancy of the angles. This should be the angle, and the planted hair are growing this. So the mistake was they planted less acutely in the previous surgery, and they never knew how to put the slits, whether to put anterior posteriorly or side to side. Interestingly, all the hair are not very acute to the scalp. So this is a scalp up almost like the mid scalp, the mid part of the scalp, where you can see the hair are not very acute. They are towards the obtuse side. So these are all natural hair. They are not planted hair. So if you see, they are close to around 70, 80 degree to the scalp. So naturally also sometimes these kind of angles you could find on the scalp. So one needs to understand all these things, like naturally how his angles are placed, and we should do some kind of under correction. When we transplant, we should expect that the hair would move back, they would travel backward. So with that expectation, we should create the angle in such a way that even if the hair moves back, then also it should look natural to the patient when it comes out after 1 year or 1.5 years. Interestingly, not all the hair are acute to the scalp. So this picture is from the mid part of the scalp. Here you can see that the angle of exit of this naturally miniaturizing hair is close to 80 to 90 degree. So these are not transplanted hair, these are natural hair which are miniaturizing under baldness. So we need to see all these things at the time of transplantation. If let's say this guy becomes more bald and we need to transplant over here, then there is no need to match these angles when you're transplanting. We need to kind of under correct in terms of doing more acute angle, and with the expectation that those hair would also move a little bit backward so that they would match or remain close to this in terms of angle of exit after 1.5 years or 2 years of the procedure. So now coming to the close-up of this angle of exit. So this hair which is leaving the scalp at a particular angle, that is called angle of exit. So this angle is called angle of exit. So on the anterior part it is close to 15 to 20 degree. So once you go backward, it gets increased a little bit, but not goes up to 90 degree that a lot of people think. It is not 90 degree when you come to the mid scalp or the crown of the scalp. So it is around 15 degree to 20 degree at the hairline zone. So usually this planted hair moves backward for multiple reasons, due to the scar that is beneath the hair. That also pulls the hair backward, and also when we comb the hair, we try to give a stroke or a direction to the hair backward. So that is very, very important to know, that the scar gets kind of remodeled, and the maturation of the scar happens over multiple months. So we have to keep that in mind, that the hair would move backward. So if you under correct in terms of giving more acuteness at the initial point, then even if the hair moves backward, they will come to a point which will be acceptable. Otherwise, if you put it around 60 degree or 70 degree, then later on it will become 90 degree, or as I have shown in the picture, they can move like up to 120 degree also. So that gives a very, very unnatural look. So this understanding this angle is also very, very crucial for giving a natural result to the transplanted hair.